Well, hello there. Greetings, family. Welcome to another infiltrating, agitated edition of Brother Ron Speaks. What's the word for Brother Heard? We all be news-free Dixie for the 21st century. This is the Thought Provocateur show. I want to talk about what happened recently. 2025 is a whirlwind, non-stop action. Anything is possible, probable, and for reals. This was going down in a 2025. I just want to talk about the passing or transition of the one and only Irving Lorenzo, also known as Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. It's murder, of that fame. The guy who brought us the Inc., once known as Murder Inc., who brought us the likes of Ja Rule, who ruled the radio waves or airwaves back in the early 2000s. Started in the late 90s, early 2000s. Murder Inc. had it on lock. People want to rewrite history. Before 50 blew up with Wangster and with the shady Aftermath Connect, the G Unit, it was Ja Rule and Murder with Ashanti on the hooks. So you went from basically like Death Row era, Bad Boy, got thrown in Rough Riders, right? Then you had the Inc. Stop, drop. And like you gotta thank Irv for that, because Irv actually was pivotal in all the big three at one time, right? He was pivotal in the careers of Jay-Z. He helped produce Jay-Z's first studio album, Reasonable Doubt, was also a reasonable classic. I would say Jay-Z definitely my top three. He's my number two. I don't care what y'all say about Jay. Jay got that flow. He got that sway. He got that swagger, still with the weird chia pet thing going on. He's still the main man. And also DMX, he produced It's Dark and Hell is Hot. What? DMX? Irv Gotti did that. And also he produced Ja Rule's debut album. Matter of fact, my understanding, there was rumored that Irv had a supergroup that would feature DMX, Ja Rule, and Jay-Z. That never came out the ground. So like the commission rumors, right? I guess that was real. With Jay and Big will be collaborating in a group called the Commission. So I don't know what happened with all that, but it is what it is. But Irv most definitely made his mark. The Inc. was very hot back in the 2000s. People want to have amnesia about that. Now, people was knocking 50 Cent for, I guess, trolling the death of Irv Gotti. Cause like you don't know what the internet. Cause I remember people were telling me about. Have you heard about the passing of Irv Gotti last night, February the 5th, 2025? I kept on refreshing my browser trying to find new info, and finally it was confirmed from his family that he did transition into a righteous ancestor, to many maybe perhaps. And I just want to get on here to just share my thoughts about the situation. My condolences for the loss to the family, friends, and fans of Irv Gotti. He is most definitely a hip-hop music legend. Make no mistake about it. Like I said, man, he had the late 90s, early 2000s, he had a lot of significant hip-hop movements, independent labels or vanity labels, whatever. But, people were doing their thing. I was thinking about No Limit. How people try to write out No Limit records from the books. No Limit had them anthems. They had the cover art. They had the anthems. Stop hating on No Limit. No Limit was hot. Master P actually toured with Tupac at the end. He was on tour with Tupac, and also he gave 50 Cent his first big tour exposure. So Master P always gonna be a legend, man. Stop trying to rewrite the history. Well, Irv Gotti, stop trying to rewrite the history, especially with the beef between him and 50 Cent. 50 Cent was trolling yesterday, and people counting their feelings about that. I will say this, 50 Cent has been consistent in how he has felt about the Inc., about Irv Gotti, about Ja Rule. His nemesis, his rival, 50 Cent, was blocked by Irv Gotti in the industry before he got connected with Eminem and Dr. Dre, and the rest is history. But he was being blocked by them. I think at one point 50 wanted to join up with Irv and them, and they turned him down. Not only that, alleged associates of Irv and them. I'm thinking about Kenneth Supreme, McGriff, the notorious drug kingpin and gangster extraordinaire, tried to allegedly have 50 Cent knocked out because 50 Cent was dropping too much stuff in his raps about them taking subliminals, I guess. 50 came out with that record, How to Rob an Industry Naga. And he was telling how he would rob all these prominent hip-hop rap figures. And it was tongue-in-cheek, I guess. It was very humorous to a certain degree. But a lot of people didn't like that. And then 50 started taking, I guess, pot shots at Supreme Team and them allegedly. And that led to almost his demise. 50 was almost taken out of here. Well, he shot, 9 times, 5 times, 9 times. This is the year to 9. And allegedly it was Mike Tyson's best friend, Daryl Homo Bomb. Homo as in homicide. That was his nickname, alleged hitman. He was given the assignment to allegedly take out Curtis Jackson, also known as 50 Cent, to the world. And 2 weeks he got shot down. As 50 rapped about, and many men wish dust on me. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. All right, I'm on the clock here. Not on my clock. But anyway, I'm on break, I guess. But anyway, I want to say all this to say that for 50 to still be petty, as y'all would say, even though he had to spend time in a hospital, he lost teeth. They took it. They tried to take his life, but they took some of his teeth out of his mouth. So he got that trademark way he speak and communicate. But they try to stop 50, and 50 still rose from the ashes like a phoenix. So I had no problem really with 50 being 50, especially as it relates to a person who allegedly was involved in his potential demise. So, 50's left and all the way to the bank, whatever. But anyway, with that said, Irv did leave a legacy. He gave us like Ja Rule, gave us Jay-Z, DMX, Ashanti. He made his mark on the industry and beyond. So I'll give him props for that. But also, he's been a chatty patty like Dame Dash. No disrespect to either one of those guys. They're great men in their own right. But he's been dropping stuff like on Drink Champs about, him, I guess, connecting with Ashanti. And it reminded me of what Rick Ross said some years back that got him in trouble by why he never would sign a female artist. It's too sticky icky. Things get complicated real quick, get questionable real quick. And Ashanti did not deny that they had some entanglements, but she was felt like she was manipulated, from my understanding, like she was pressured or manipulated by Irv Gotti. And it was all about a career thing, I guess, allegedly. I'm just paraphrasing what I read about her saying on the Angela Martinez podcast. Now, this is the same Angela Martinez allegedly has the urban legendary last Tupac interview, or she has a Tupac interview that was never released because Tupac was Cat Williams before Cat Williams. He was exposing folks. It is what it is. And I don't know if she still got it, or if it's been bought by Jay-Z or Diddy and them. I don't know. At this point, it don't really matter. But, Ashanti felt like she was taken advantage of. That she said Irv had a lot of girlfriends, even though he was married to a wife that bore him 3 children, which is whatever. It is what it is. I think his kids are named Angie, JJ, and Sonny, something like that. Sonny! 2 of his kids did a hip-hop reality show with him not too long ago. But with that said, it is interesting. He got pretty messy. But also, Irv talked about his health struggles. He had a stroke, I think, 6 months ago. They say he allegedly died from a diabetic stroke yesterday, surrounded by family and friends. But he had a stroke 6 months ago, but he was on Drink Champs, I believe. He said, he was dealing with diabetes for a long time. He felt like it was hereditary, I believe, but also reversible, and that he wasn't really taking measures to get it under control. He admitted that he did not have it under control at the time of the Drink Champs interview, but when he had the stroke 6 months ago, a publicist or a spokesperson said that he was eating better, he was watching what he was eating and dieting and all that stuff. And a person like me, I have currently type 2 diabetes, and yeah, things could get really complicated, especially when a lot of things you love eating may not be good for you. But Robert Kennedy, I believe, being in office as health secretary, he's gonna make food good for you again. It's gonna make food good for you again. We'll see. But that is a call for me. That is a wake-up call in a way, because as I get older, I will be 45 this year in April 23rd. 2025, I'll be 45. This is also the year of the 9. 4 plus 5, of course, is 9. Irv passed away at 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 is the complete number. It's the number of beginnings and endings. So with that said, just hearing about what happened to him, unfortunately, is kind of like a wake-up call for me. Like, I've been going through my struggles and ups and downs with my health over the last couple of years, but I'm still here because God is great. God is all-knowing. God is in control, and God got me. Now, with that said, like I said, with Irv Gotti, I mean, if you look at his career, it's incredible. He started off as a DJ, whatnot. But then I want to bring up this, what the government does, which is interesting. I'm thinking about Joe Biden. He get preemptive pardon his family and associates like Fauci and Liz Cheney and stuff like that. And the government is wicked. Like what went on with Donald Trump, who's also from Queens. I think Irv was born in Hollis. That's Hollis, Queens. Like, I think it's Hollis, Queens. Queens is the birth. I mean, a lot of hip hop greats come out of Queens, right? Think about Run DMC, Nicki Minaj, A.L.L. Cool J, Nas, Mobb Deep, even Nori, the CNN report, Capone and Noriega. So many great hip hop icons and iconoclasts got roots in Queens, New York. Okay, you can't knock that. It is Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest. I can go on and on and on. But what I wanted to bring up, which I think was important to bring up, is what, Joe Biden just proved that, and what Donald Trump just proved while he's draining the swamp 2.0, how the Just Us department was weaponized against a former president and billionaire for Queens. If they could do that to a white man who's a billionaire and a former president who is now current president, they could do that to anybody. And Irv Gotti and his brother was attacked by the Just Us system, by the U.S. or United Snakes of America. They went out there by Uncle Sam and his people, because it was a claim made that their business was being used as a money laundering situation, operation for one of their associates, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the drug lord, kingpin, gangster dude who's doing football numbers in prison right now, who allegedly put out the hit on 50 Cent for his reckless mouthpiece. But anyway, they did a movie, we called it a dream project, something that Kenneth Supreme McGriff wanted to do a long time. They helped produce a movie for Kenneth Supreme McGriff called Crime Partners, which is based off the literary works of the legendary Donald Goines. Read some of his stuff, it's very fascinating stuff. And so the feds is watching, was claiming that, Irv and them produced the soundtrack, produced the movie as a money laundering thing. Allegedly, they money laundered $1 million or something like that. I remember that case, but what really people don't understand, they raided their facilities, I believe, at the beginning of 2005. They were found not guilty, him and his brother Irv. I believe his brother's name is Chris Lorenzo, something like that. They Lorenzo brothers, but they known as Gotti. They got the mob. See, words create words. He decided to call himself Gotti. You know what happened to John Gotti in the government, Mr. So-called Teflon Don? They took him out of here. It's questionable the tactics that were used to take him out of here. John Gotti, like Donald Trump and Irv, they all from Queens. It's interesting. Queens cats are built different. But he named himself after John Gotti, I'm thinking. He named his record label after Murder Inc., which was an organized crime operation led by Jewish gangster Louis Lepke Buckhalter and Italian gangster Albert Anastasia, who was known as the Mad Hatter because he would just knock people off just because. I mean, he had a hair trigger temper, you know. And so he named his company Murder Inc. because, like, they did hits all around the country. He wanted nationwide hits, music hits. Like Irv said, I want music hits, like how they did, basically how they did hits in the good old days in the mob. How they were taking people out. He wanted hits. Be number one with a bullet, I guess, in a different way, with rhythm and reason, or reasons of insanity. I don't know. But your words create words, and I tell people this all the time, especially with the rappers. They're casting spells. When you spelling, you're casting a spell. When you saying words, you're manifesting things. Like you think about Biggie, Biggie first album, Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace's first album was called Life After, was called Ready to Die, right? It was called Ready to Die. It's an instant classic. Some of the lyrics are very suspect on both of his albums, but that's another story. Christopher Wallace was on, I think Mos Def called him the Chester Himes of hip hop, right? And I call Tupac the Shakespeare of hip hop, but that's another discussion for another time. But his second album that Biggie named his second album was what? Life After Death. It came out when? After he was dead. So your words create worlds. I believe I read somewhere that your tongue is the strongest muscle in your body. So you got the power, the power of life and death resides in the tongue. So with that said, be mindful. But like even Monsieur called his record label a Death Row Records. Snoop and Snoop had that album he did called Murder Was the Case that they gave me. He almost went to Wade to prison doing football numbers for a murder of a gang member that he was suspect in, and he beat the case. But he had that Murder Was the Case came out around the same time. So your words create worlds, and Snoop has reformed his image. Of course, he's a worldwide icon. He's very mainstream right now. All types of people. I remember he did that commercial with former automobile CEO Lee Iacocca or something like that. Like, that's how big time Snoop has become. He's doing baking cakes and smoking brownies or eating hash brownies with Martha Stewart, allegedly. That's how mainstream he is now. But when he first started, he caught a case, almost sent him away. Think about how many people are associated with Death Row that are no longer here with us. Iconic people like Nate Dogg, smoke weed every day, and Tupac, all eyes on me. Tupac gone, Nate gone. So many of them people, Dog Pound, a lot of people are gone. But they call themselves what? Death Row. It's Death Row. Death Row Records. Words create worlds. Then they call themselves Untouchable Death Row. As soon as they put the untouchable on it, it's like the unsinkable Titanic, and sunk. The untouchable Death Row got touched. Suge did a parole violation or probation violation, excuse me, or something like that. And they sent him away for several years after they killed Pac. So I'm saying, like, we speaking this stuff, but I bring up all this to say, Irv had an association with Kenneth Supreme, McGriff, and also Death Row was associated with Michael Harry-O Harris. His name Michael Harry-O. Harry-O was a drug kingpin, a cocaine cowboy, contemporary of the real Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross. He put up the money, the $1 million, I believe, to start, the seed money to start Death Row Records, but he wanted to be called, I think, Godfather Records or Godfather Entertainment. There are several documentaries and stuff about this. And he also was a guy who produced the Broadway play that put Denzel on the map. Like, he basically produced a star vehicle on Broadway for the one and only Denzel Washington. And he was recently pardoned by Donald Trump, the current president. He actually spoke at the rally for Donald Trump late last year, star-studded, rally for Donald Trump in Madison Square Garden. He spoke about Donald Trump, I believe, the First Step Act. Joe Biden did the crime bill. Donald Trump did the First Step Act. And yet y'all call Donald Trump the monster. That's another story, black people. But anyway, it's kind of interesting because I talk about how Suge's in prison right now. And I believe he shouldn't be in prison for this particular situation, but it is what it is. But, he didn't catch this case. Irv and his brother did not catch the case with the government until they tried to start to control their distribution of their music. They wanted to create a distribution company with Suge Knight and Jay Prince of Rap-A-Lot Records. Jay Prince talked about being bullied and intimidated by the feds for a minute. So you got all three of these guys, getting intimidated by the federal government, catching cases, whatever. But, to me, their problems really didn't start, with the exception of, I guess, Suge. A lot of their problems didn't really come to the forefront until they tried to come up with a way to control the distribution of their music. And that's a no-no. Look at the likes of somebody like Michael Jackson and Sam Cooke and Prince. Look what happened to them. And like my Jagna, my good friend Emerson Abel Jr., one of the greatest high school band directors of the city of Memphis, co-founder of the Southern Heritage Classic, and also the high school band director for his student Isaac Hayes, who he kicked out the high school band, but ended up working for Isaac Hayes as part of the Isaac Hayes movement at Stax Records. He actually did Watch Stax and stuff like that with Isaac. And he told me, Ron, nobody dies from natural death in show business. So with that said, look what happened to them. They all caught cases to a certain degree, caught heat from the feds. So they try to organize, control their intellectual property. And the same thing with some years ago with Minister Farrakhan wanted black business owners in the beauty supply industry to start controlling their distribution. At first, people was in on it. First, some of the black business people said we were with Farrakhan. And then they were threatened by the powers they think they be. You better not organize that or we're going to destroy y'all. So Farrakhan tried to organize those black beauty supply people, and it fell apart. It's something that like to be said. Black power is unity and solidarity. White power is divide and conquer. This system runs off of white power. Black power don't mean black supremacy. It means people coming together to do something for humanity. It means like you shifting paradigms. It's something about black people, black American natives, that people both envy and admire. And it's lost on a lot of us because we don't know who we are. And that's another story for another day. But I don't want to put that out there. God bless the dead. God bless the living. And I respect Irv Gotti for his appreciation of the one and only Tupac Amaru Shakur. Because Tupac was on a different level. People try to hate on Pac now, how they try to dismiss Michael Jordan, but a GOAT is a GOAT. No matter for better or for worse, all basketball players will be compared to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the standard. I ain't say he was the best basketball player, the most skilled or the most gifted, but for some reason, he is the standard when it comes to greatness. Just like in rap, for me and so many others, Tupac Amaru Shakur is the standard because he had the package, just like Jordan had the entire package. But anyway, I digress. I'm not the biggest Jordan fan. That's another podcast, but I just want to say my piece about the situation with Irv Gotti. May he rest in peace. Thank you for the memories, for the good music, for providing a soundtrack for me and so many others. And like I said, as far as 50 go, I don't have a problem with 50 did, because 50, they almost took him out of here. I ain't saying that Irv had something to do with it, but some of his associates allegedly had something to do with, but Irv did block 50 at the beginning. And he admitted as much, I believe, in some of his interviews, that he did play a part in trying to block 50's success. And let that be a lesson to anybody. Nobody can stop you but you. You can only fail if you stop trying. And 50 never stopped trying. And like he said on his first album, get rich or die trying. And he almost got taken out of here several times. Many men. With that said, God bless all of you. Okay? This is Brother Ron. What's the word from Brother Heard, right? What's the word from Brother Heard? Brother Ron, we all be news free dicks for the 21st century. Support the movement. I got so many seeds to plant to feed you. Feed you. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Hit me up. You want to donate to the cause. Cash App, $R2C2H2. the Vimo at R2C2H2. You can PayPal and Zelle. Email r2c2h2@gmail.com. That's email r2c2h2@gmail.com. You can Patreon us, patreon.com/weallbe. Subscribe to our YouTube, our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/weallbetv2. That's numeric 2. That's weallbetv2 on YouTube. And also Rumble is rumble.com/weallbetv. Y'all take care. Keep on producing and pushing. In the words of the great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. And in the words of late great Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues. Do it, do it.